Tonight, a case out of federal court in Alabama is raising serious and deeply troubling questions about one of the most prominent nonprofit organizations in the United States. A federal grand jury has returned an indictment against the Southern Poverty Law Center, an organization that has, for decades, positioned itself as the leading force in the fight against hate and extremists. But according to federal prosecutors, the reality behind the scenes may have been something very different. The indictment outlines 11 criminal counts, including wire fraud, false statements to federally insured banks, and conspiracy to commit money laundering. At the center of the case, allegations that between 2014 and 2023, millions of dollars in donor funds were quietly redirected to individuals connected to extremist organizations. Let's be clear about what's being alleged here. Donors were told their money would be used to fight extremists, to dismantle hate groups, to expose dangerous ideologies. But federal prosecutors now allege that some of that same money was instead used to pay individuals inside those networks. According to the indictment, the organization operated a covert network of informants, referred to internally as field sources. Some of these individuals were not just observers, they were allegedly embedded within extremist groups, and in some cases, actively participating in those operations. Now, here's where this case becomes even more complicated and more concerning. This is a long-standing practice in law enforcement of using confidential informants. Federal agents do it, state agents do it. It's a recognized investigation tool. But the Southern Poverty Law Center is not a law enforcement agency. It does not operate under judicial oversight. It does not answer to elected officials, and it does not bound by the same legal framework that govern federal investigators do. So the question becomes, what happens when a private organization begins to operate in a space that looks, feels, and functions like law enforcement, but without the accountability that comes with it? Prosecutors allege that more than $3 million was funneled to individuals tied to extremist groups. Some reportedly received hundreds of thousands of dollars. One individual, according to the indictment, received over $1 million. Again, these are allegations, but if proven, they raise a fundamental contradiction. An organization publicly condemning extremist groups while allegedly maintaining financial relations with individuals in those same groups. The indictment also describes the use of fictitious entities, shell organizations with no real business operation, used to move money and conceal its origin. Accounts were allegedly opened under names like Center Investigative Agency and Rare Book Warehouse, masking the flow of funds. If those allegations hold up in court, this wasn't just about questionable judgment. It was a point to a structured, deliberate system designed to conceal financial activity, activity that donors were never told about. And that brings us to the bigger issue here, trust. Nonprofit relies on it. Donors depend on it. Public expects it. When people give money to an organization, especially one claiming to fight hate and protect communities, they expect transparency. They expect honesty, and they expect their money is going where they were told it would go. Federal officials have made it clear, if these allegations are proven, they will pursue accountability. Now, to be absolutely clear, the Southern Poverty Law Center is presumed innocent. These are allegations. They must be proven in the court of law. But the scope and seriousness of this indictment cannot be ignored. Because even if part of this case is sustained, it would present a profound breakdown, not just for internal oversight, but for public trust. And it would force a difficult question. When organizations claim to fight extremists, who is watching them? For Englebrook Independent News, I'm Haylee Ficuciello.